Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a place for more money, more abundance to come in. You know, a cup, if it's full, can't receive anymore. Is that right? Well, we have a cup. We call it our spiritual vessel. I want to read something to you from the Kabbalist, and then I'll explain what this whole idea is about and how to create more space for abundance to come in. Because if you don't have that space, it's not going to come. You're not going to attract the opportunities, the deals, they'll fall apart, whatever. It just can't happen if there's no space for it to be there. I will explain why and then how to expand that place to have more space. All right. So the Kabbalists explain, and I'm reading from the writings of the 10 luminous emanations, which is the deeper study of Kabbalah. And in this particular place, he's explaining about what we call a spiritual vessel, also known as desire, but desire is not as simple as we might think. So let me read and I'll explain. Know that the amount of desire and yearning is the entire substance that exists in the emanated vessel. Okay, so he's talking about what is the definition of a spiritual vessel, meaning, in not so many words, a soul, a certain part of the soul, which is part of us, that has a capability to receive. Think about it. Our place of receiving is energetic. It's not tangible. If I asked you, where do you feel happy when you feel happy? We'd be hard-pressed to locate a place on the body. Okay, we might say here. Oh, it's here. I feel happy here. I feel happy all over. But it's not a tangible place. Wherever we feel fulfillment is not a tangible place. Okay? We must remember that. It's energetic. Our spiritual vessel. Desire. I can't see yours. You can't see mine. Therefore, it is intangible. It is non-physical. However, it is responsible for us being able to receive whatever benefits, beneficence, pleasure, good feeling, happiness, makes no difference. In this case, we're discussing sustenance. We must have the place. So, he says, the amount of desire and yearning, he calls it the entire substance. That's what makes up the vessel of receiving within us. The opportunity and the ability to receive fulfillment. Again, in this case, we're dealing with money, abundance, in whatever form. It's the amount of desire and yearning. Keep that in mind. Yearning is more than desire. In fact, it's way more than desire. Yearning is like very, very, very strong desire. Okay, we might think we have that. Let's see if we do or if we don't. Everything that exists within that vessel that is not yearning, everything that exists within that vessel that is not yearning and desire is no longer part. It's no longer part of this yearning, but rather it's some form of fulfillment, he says. It's some form of fulfillment. What does that mean exactly? Let me give you an example. If we're starving, then, we'll eat the food and we'll fill ourselves up with the food. Now we're full. We have no more place for any more food to be. We're stuffed. Fine. Our desire has become limited by the amount of fulfillment, in this case food, we have ingested. Right? You're with me? Please, stay on it and try to really deeply understand what we're saying here. A couple of hours go by, you're not totally stuffed anymore, but you're also not empty. So you could have something, I don't know, a sandwich, dessert, whatever. So you're, let's say, 85%, 80% full still, but now you have, let's say, 20%, you have some space You have some ability to receive. You have some small desire. A few more hours might go by, let's say 5 hours, and maybe you're beginning to get hungry, okay? You have more space. Let's say it's now 60-40. You have 40% still. You have some food in your belly, but you're 60% hungry. 8 hours go by, guess what? You're starving again. Let's say you're empty, 100% empty, and you have room for all that food once again. So now, again, has been established a real desire and a yearning for the food in this case. The fact is that any form of satisfaction takes up a certain amount of space within our capacity to receive. Let me say that again. Any form of fulfillment, of satisfaction, takes up a certain amount of space in our capability of receiving. What does that mean? Let me read. Furthermore, the substance of desire and yearning determines the size in terms of how big the vessel of receiving is. Okay? Again, the amount of desire and yearning determines the amount of desire in terms of size, of how big the level of each vessel will be. While the extension of the light, he is saying. Now, imagine, the food, he says, the extension of the light from the Creator is immeasurable. So fulfillment is immeasurable. The food doesn't end. But what limits it? My capacity to receive. So the food isn't limited. It's my capacity to receive that food which is limited. In other words, the abundance, the sustenance, the money is not limited. But it is my capacity to receive it that is limited, he says. It is the netzal, it is the vessel of receiving that limits the abundance. Literally. For it receives no more and no less than its amount, than its level of its desire to receive it. This is the criterion in spirituality. There's a law, he says. There's a spiritual law. There is no coercion there. It depends entirely on the level of desire. No coercion in spirituality. No coercion in abundance. No coercion in food. No coercion in any form of receiving of any form of abundance. The supply is unlimited, yes. But the capacity to receive it is limited. And who causes there to be that limitation? Well, in the case of physical things, in the case of food, obviously food, we have a limitation on what's our capacity, whatever the size of our stomach or however we measure capacity. But yes, of course, there's a point where we're full and then we can receive no more until some time goes by and then I, empty out a little bit or whatever and I have another desire once again. But that's not so in spiritual or energetic terms. You see, in energetic terms, unlike physical things, we can create space, we can create desire beyond anything physical in our mind, because our mind has potentially an endless ability to receive, to desire. It depends on our thought. And what do I mean by that? When we feel satisfied or satiated, our desire goes down. Think about it. And I think the best example I can give you is a relationship. When is there the highest desire? Ask yourself in any relationship, if you're married, if you're with someone, whatever it is. When was the highest level of desire? When you got married, or when you were dating, or after you got married, or after you're living together, or whatever it is? If you're being honest, you will certainly say, when we were dating, that's the highest level of desire that you can have in that time. Why? Because you want that person. You want to be with them. You want to, whatever. You want a relationship with them. And that's the highest level of desire. You're going to make sure you do all the right things. You're going to speak right. You're going to look right. You're going to smell right. You're certainly not going to shout at them. I mean, that would be absurd if you like this person, right? You're not going to argue. You're going to be on your best behavior, right? Because the desire is at its highest point. Why is that important? Yeah, but you know what? Not for nothing they have that expression, the best way to ruin a romance is get married. Why? Why? I mean, I'm not saying that, but it's the nature of the beast. Why is that? Because, well, why should I desire the same? I mean, this is unconscious, right? We're not even thinking about this consciously. Why should I have the same desire if I already got what I wanted? So why should I have the same desire? Oh, well, first of all, let's stop there for a minute. The illusion is you got what you want. We never get it, or we never should get it, and this is a hint, how to create more abundance. Why should we never get it? Because as long as we stay in a state of mind that there's no way I can receive another person, there's no way I can own them, there's no way I don't have them. We can be in a relationship with each other. Now we're married, whatever that means. We can, we live together, build a family. But again, there's no guarantee that I have them till tomorrow. But we are under the illusion that we do at whatever level. And that's why the desire goes down. And because desire goes down, we begin to lose things. We begin to take for granted. No? Did that ever happen? Take for granted, take advantage, not appreciate the same way, don't act exactly the same way. And that's, unfortunately, why relationships will begin to go down if that level of desire goes down. When the desire goes down because it felt satisfied, it's taking the room of desire. And therefore, I don't have a capability to receive the same way that I used to before. Now tell me, who's in control over that? God? No. Us. Only us. So the love and the abundance is endless. It's infinite. But we are limiting it because our desire shifted. It changed. It became less because I'm under the illusion that I got what I wanted and that's it. And I no longer have to desire it. I no longer have to earn it. I no longer have to work for it. Now, what does that mean in terms of money, in sustenance? I gave you the relationship as an example to illustrate how it works with money. You see, each one of us, innately, according to our understanding of money, especially if we weren't brought up in a house where we're used to abundance, we're used to money, and we weren't, large numbers of money. There are some people like that. I mean, I wasn't brought up in that type of an environment. Many people were. So, their mindset is different. They've been trained differently, perhaps. Now, depending on if they were trained to work and so on, that's another discussion, okay? But the fact of the matter is, for a person, let's say, who's on their first job, and they get paid $100 a week. For that person, a young person, $100 a week it feels like all the money in the world. Wow, it's amazing. I get my first check. Is there some satisfaction over there? Yes, of course. Sure, rightfully so, to whatever degree. But, the more satisfaction he feels or she feels at that moment, the more full they become. Let me repeat that. It's like they just had a big meal and now they're full. And what happens when you're full? You can't eat another bite till you get hungry again. So in terms of abundance and money, money is very much, because money is a raw form of energy, there will be no new opportunities. There will be no greater opportunities. That person will likely only make $100 a week. Why? Because it satisfies me. I feel satisfied. Now, being satisfied is different than having appreciation. Let's make it clear. We are not ever discussing not having appreciation for what we have or for what we receive. The opposite. But appreciation mainly comes with what? With desire. When we receive something, when we have a big desire, we appreciate. When you take the first bite and you're starving, wow, you really appreciate it. But if you've already taken 20 bites and you're already like, you're not appreciating it the same way. No. We need to work at it. The point is, because I'm full, again, desire goes down. Remember, there's no coercion in spirituality. That is a law. And that means the light, the creator, God, can never give us anything that we do not truly want. Doesn't happen. It cannot happen. We have free will. We are here. We must have free will. And therefore, we must understand, even when we receive, how to maintain our capacity to receive more. That's a little bit like saying, yeah, even though I've eaten, I'm still just as hungry. I mean, does that make any sense? Now, in the case of food, that's not a good idea, okay? Let's be clear about that, all right? Definitely not a good idea in terms of food and physical matters. But in energetic matters, and money is an energy, okay? In energetic matters, if you want more abundance in your life, if you want more fulfillment in life in general, the same rule applies. We're talking about money now. Then you must never receive your money. There you go. Reject it. Reject your money. Yes. What does that even mean? Reject it. Don't receive it? Then what do? How do you pay your bills if you don't receive your money? If you reject the money. You see, the Kabbalist explains that consciousness is 99%. What creates our vessel of receiving? What really creates our desire, our capacity to receive, is this. It's our mind. As long as in my mind I don't receive, I don't take or accept the satisfaction, I appreciate, but I don't allow it to satisfy me. I hope you're understanding the subtlety here. Then I can maintain my capacity and appreciate and have room for more. Again, as long as I don't receive what I have received, in my mind, I can maintain my capacity for more. And I can absolutely appreciate and should and need to, yes. But the point is not to take satisfaction. So the kid gets paid his $100. Let's go back to the kid with the $100. He gets his $100. What should he do? He definitely should not say, wow, this is great, this is amazing, it feels like all the money in the world. No. Because then that's it. He's full. No good. Now, each one of us have different levels, again, according to our environment, how we brought up, many, many things. But I'm giving you the general rule, and this will work for all of us the same. as long as we apply it whenever there is money coming in. Money comes in, reject, not the money obviously, but reject any satisfaction, any it's filling me up, any consciousness like that. In other words, I receive it, but I have to psych myself into a state of mind that nothing happened. I didn't receive anything. This is only seed money. This is only, put it away, put it in your bank account. That's it. Forget about it. You must forget about it. Reject receiving it. You didn't receive it. In your mind, I received nothing. I'm just as hungry as I was before. Now, you can say these things, great. But the main thing is that to feel that way, and with practice, eventually you can feel that way. And maintain the hunger, maintain the work, maintain the desire to create more in whatever it is that you do. If you're in a sales business, because when you're full, the deals fall apart. When you're full, you don't get any brand new opportunities. When you're full, the boss doesn't give you overtime. When you're full, because you don't attract that. You don't have a place for it. But if you are hungry, if you maintain your hunger in spite of whatever it is that you feel you've received, again, the trick is not to feel the receiving. Reject the receiving. I'm not saying don't take the money. Of course, take the money. But reject any feeling of contentment and satisfaction that might come along with it. Learn to say one word very, very clearly as soon as the good happens. Amazing, thank God. Next. Next is the word, of course. Thank God. Next. Learn to say next. Do not dwell on it. Because the more you dwell on the achievement or the money or the check or the whatever, the more you dwell on it, the more you're absorbing satisfaction. That's the way it goes. We're absorbing it. And the more you absorb it, the less you will be able to receive in the future. And you will have to wait till you are literally empty. We don't want to be literally empty. We want to continue to be fulfilled and add on. This is how we grow at all levels, not only with money. Because when you feel satisfied where you are, why will you grow anymore? So, sometimes the universe wants to push us to grow. The universe needs to take things away so we'll feel a lack, we'll feel desire now. No. If you feel the lack and you feel the desire to grow before any form of lack happens, then do you need a lack to happen? No, you don't. We don't need to wait for problems. If we're proactive beforehand, what would be the purpose? There's no purpose. There would be no reason for us to incur any form of lack. That's the way things work, my friends. So, again, the quick idea here is refuse the satisfaction of any form of receiving, especially the abundance. If we're talking about creating a larger capacity to receive, this absolutely does that. Absolutely. The more you learn to say, no, I haven't received, put it in the bank, that's it, forget it, and say the magic word, next. Yes, of course, I appreciate, thank God, give me this opportunity. Yes, good, next. Do not dwell on it. The less you dwell on it, the less you absorb it, the more you are increasing your capacity to receive. Now, this is a great secret, and again, successful people somehow innately kind of have this principle. Maintaining the hunger is the main feature that causes success. I mean, if you're interested in that, well, not everybody is interested in success. We understand that, but that's fine. But if you are, this surely puts you on the pathway to that success. Many blessings, everybody. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. Blessing you with all the abundance, health, wealth, and peace of mind. All the best.